Welcome back to the channel. In a lot of platforms, you get text notes that you can start a text note, whether it's on Remarkable, whether it's on books, and they use a different note format for that. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the way they do it. And it actually can give you some different formatting tools within their apps so you can make headers and do different things. The problem is when you take that off device, a lot of the times it'll only come off as either a PDF or a text formatted document. So you lose that ability to keep those headers or anything like that. Now, what Supernote does is a little bit different. They take and they give you Word documents native on the device. So when you think of a document on Supernote, it's really a Word document. And that's the difference. They don't have a text note. You can insert text into your notes, but they don't have a text note. And so they use Word documents for that. I'm going to show you how you can bring a native Word document onto the device, what that looks like on the device, and some of the things you can do with it. We're going to focus mainly on the handwriting proofing shortcuts that they have to make it feel almost like you're hand marking up a paper, but it's not the same way you would do an annotation. And then I'm going to show you how that seamlessly syncs, and you can open that on your desktop through the app and continue that editing process. And so let's go ahead and jump on over. I'll give you a peek at it. Here we are with the trusty A5X. Well, you're going to notice it looks a little wonky here on screen. That's because when you open a document on the Supernote, it's going to automatically reflow that document, and it's going to default to a print or keyboard for you to be able to use your virtual keyboard, and you can press that and you can see the virtual keyboard comes up. You can use a Bluetooth keyboard, whatever you'd like to do there. So that's the default. Now, what you can do is you get your menu options here. This is your reflow control. So you can look at it like this, or you can turn it into look like the actual document itself. You get this, which is your keyboard, and I can change that to handwriting mode. And that's what we're going to focus on in this short video, because I want to show you kind of the power of how you can use those proofreading tools. It's not something that you're automatically going to want to use all the time, but it can be really useful. This is, if you're in this mode, this is your handwriting recognition. So anything you write and want to add in, you can do that. And you want to do this per page. So you want to make sure before you leave a page that you go ahead and hit that A, because it'll take care of all of the marks you've made, all of the edits you've made, any of that. And then you've got undo, redo, and save. And then your page navigation. It's that simple. It's not a heavy interface. So let me show you real quick how you can look at the original view. So this is what my document looks like on my computer screen when we show that here in a little bit. So you can see I have the logo over here. One thing to know about images is if you copy and paste them into your Word document, it sometimes will not render them on the Supernote device. I don't know why. If you insert picture, it's going to put that onto the device and you're not going to have any trouble. You'll see that text is really small, but if you hit this reflow button, again, it just blows everything up, and now I've got a much nicer canvas to work with. Let's go through the very basic proofreading tools. Let's say that I've decided that I don't want to have this name here. I want to have a different name. All I have to do is mark through that and you're done. It's deleted that. Now I can actually, since I'm in the handwriting mode, I can go ahead and just write Ed Finn, and all I have to do is hit this A. Now what's going to happen, my name is in there. Now let's say I want an extra space between the email address and the address. I just go ahead and I draw a line there. All of a sudden I've got a space. It's a pretty quick flow. And let's say instead of saying I want wide world importers, I want worldwide importers. So again, very simply, I can draw a line down, over, and up. When I do that, it'll automatically flip those words for me. And then let's say that I want to add some text in here. I want to say I highly recommend an exceptional employee. This one can be a little tricky at times, a little bit touchy, and it's only because it sometimes recognizes the markup as a V instead of an insert. So I try and get down below the text and make it really not look like a V. And you'll see it went gray. So here I can write an exceptional. And now when I hit that A, you're going to see an exceptional employee, Luca Richter. There's color on this. It's kept all of my headings and titles. What I would generally do is go ahead and set up my heading structure, set up my title structure, use subtitle, title, all of those things on my PC. This is just a nice way to be able to go through and quickly make kind of finishing edits or something like that, or the big things where I can, again, go ahead and just mark through this, and now that's gone. And then I can go ahead and undo that. So now if we go back to the reflow and go to the original document, you're going to see how that's changed. The main thing to remember is before you leave a page, you go ahead and hit that A to recognize any changes that you've made, and you then want to make sure that you hit save. Now, this will not automatically save when you exit the document, so it's very important that you hit save before you exit. So I will go ahead and hit save. And now you'll see that's grayed out and we are done. We will jump over real quick and I'll show you what this looks like on my desktop app. Here we are in the partner app with the Supernote. And what I want to show you here is what this would look like when you go ahead and open the Word document now that we've edited it. So let's open this up. The document is going to have all of the changes that we did on the Supernote platform, but it's also going to retain the color. It's also going to have all of the things that were on the initial document that I loaded in. But you'll notice here, it now says Ed Finn. You'll notice, and I'm sorry I'm looking away, but my screens are a little set up differently. You'll notice here that we have that extra space we added, and also that change, we have worldwide importers instead of wide world importers. So pretty cool, kind of a neat function of being able to do something analog and old school like proofreading, but being able to take that directly on here. And any changes we make here now, as long as we hit save, are going to go automatically back to the tablet. So it really is a symbiotic relationship between the two. It's just a nice component and it's different. Let's jump back over for some final thoughts, and I will see you here in just a second. Thanks for hanging in there for this quick hit video. These are just some things that I'm trying to highlight. I'm also going to do this with some of the books products, and where I'm just going to take these small sub 10 minutes or right around that 10-minute mark time frame and just show some things that I think are pretty cool and that are unique to the devices and that separate them, that set them apart. So if you're trying to make a decision for that one device that fits you, you really want to understand the nuances and the things that they do and do well. And one thing I believe that sets a Supernote apart is this idea that your text notes are Word documents. And that can't really be overstated on how valuable that is, since Word is a full-on word processor. Because even if you download the Word app, which you can do natively on books, which you can sideload on the Supernote, whether it's the A5X or the Manta, doesn't matter. In this example, I used the A5X. But you can download the Word app. But even in the Android version of the app, you can't add headings and titles. So that functionality remains something you have to move to a PC or a web-based version to do. And since that's the case, the fact that you can strike through, delete, rearrange words, create new paragraphs, insert text, all of those things with the handwriting mode, that's something you can't do without the Word app on any other tablet. On the Supernote, you can do all of that on tablet just with the native device document type. And that is a superpower. It is different. But anyway, let me know what you think. Is this something that's cool for you? Would you use the handwritten piece or would you use the typing? And is it valuable to have it as something that's native to the device versus another app that you have to download or another thing that you have to worry about for what you get? Let me know down in the comments. Like I said, I'm really interested in your opinion. I find it very valuable. Until next time, thank you all so much for watching. Keep on moving forward, and I will talk to you soon.